What's going on YouTube? My name's 3-Force Monster, you can call me Eric, and today I'm bringing you a tip video of a different nature. I've labeled this video as 1,005,000 different tips because, well, not really 1,005,000 different tips, but you get what I'm saying. I labeled it with a lot of tips in the title because I'm going to kind of tell you guys, maybe teach you guys if you don't already know, kind of how to watch gameplay and learn from it. Back in the way day, back when I was only 1/8 monster, back in like the Call of Duty 4 days, back before YouTube was as big as it is now and before it was as easy as it is to put videos up on YouTube, I used to gain knowledge. That was fail. I used to understand how to play the game and get better at the game by watching my teammates play. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, when you get those 10-second intervals where you're spectating somebody on your team and you pick up knowledge from them. And by doing this, by playing this way, I've learned things, and I want you guys to have that same experience just from watching my gameplay on the internet. So one of the first tips I'm going to bring to you that you may not have realized, and I've said it in other videos, is don't waste, secondaries can be picked up. Like right now I'm running a handgun as my secondary, which is necessary if you're running a sniper, because you know, if you ever get that close range confrontation and you need to use a handgun, you need to have a secondary. You should definitely run a secondary weapon with a sniper class. But it's really easy to pick up another gun while you're playing and running about. They're usually strewn all over the ground, and that's one of the first things I noticed while watching through this gameplay of mine, is I picked up a new secondary right away. So another thing I noticed a few seconds ago, and this video is gonna blaze by, and I'm gonna keep changing the pace and pointing out things, so try to keep up. The next thing I noticed a few seconds ago, back when I was underneath the bridge, is I waited before I came back out because I was really bloody. If you wait until your screen goes back to normal, there's a better chance you won't die in your next conflict you engage yourself in. So another second ago, you see me shooting at a guy on top of the trailer, and another guy came up and approached me in my face. Next tip is shoot at the guy that's looking at you. It seems easy, but it's something that takes time to figure out. It becomes a reflex, and that's how you want it to become. You want it to become a reflex that you shoot at the guy looking at you first. And that's something that's built over time. So the next thing I want to point out is Sitrep. Sitrep lets you see enemy explosives and devices and that stuff of that nature through walls. And this perk is instrumental in letting me know where the enemy is. Whether they're laying down a SATCOM, I can see the SATCOM through the wall. A freshly laid SATCOM is red. I'm gonna switch gears real quick. I just seen something else I did. Engage your sight lines with the weapon that you need to use. If I'm going to a tight area, or I know I'm going to be getting up to like an up-close battle, close quarters battle, I'll switch to my secondary. But if I'm looking across the long sight line, you see me switch back to my sniper rifle and check the sight line before I move forward with my closer range engaging gun. So let me get back to what I was just talking about, is Sitrep, seeing through walls and seeing through everything. And freshly laid SATCOMs are red. That points out right away where the enemy just laid it down and where the enemy is right in that specific time. And a lot of times you'll see IEDs and everything laying down, and people camp their IEDs. That's what they do. They camp them, and they become easy targets by doing that. Guys, if you're enjoying this video so far, slam that like button. Okay, anyways, back to the video. You see I'm red, I'm running away, I'm finding a new way to go, and I didn't know I already had a dog called. I'm getting my health back, and I'm kind of right now just scoping out the map. Quick tip time, pausing the game, which I didn't do right there, obviously, because you would have seen me do it. Pausing the game brings up the entire map for you to view. So if you ever need to take a minute to just see where the enemy is and where your teammates are, give the game a quick pause and look where your teammates are, and chances are the enemy are spawning on the opposite side of the map. This was so fail right here. Quick tip time. I didn't realize it because I wasn't paying enough attention to the minimap, that in this game, for the very first time, the little orange, red dots, whatever color you want to call them, have little arrows above and underneath. And it took me maybe like a week or two into playing the game to realize that that actually meant the enemy was at a higher or lower elevation than me. So if I would have been actually paying attention to the minimap a few minutes ago when that sniper was shooting at me from the log, I would have realized to look up because his little dot had an upwards arrow above it. That would have told me right away that he was at a higher elevation, and I would have been able to just look straight up. So here comes another quick tip. When you're engaging in long confrontation and you don't have the advantage, don't do it. Just back out, find a new way to take on the opponent, find a new way to challenge the enemy. Quick tip time. When you're laying down satcoms, and it just came into my head while I was watching this, is I actually called in a dog, but when you're laying down satcoms, please don't just spawn and lay them down in the open. I tend to do this a lot because I'm just not thinking as I'm playing, and it ends, I'm sure 80% of the time my satcoms get destroyed right away, and I never pay attention to it because I'm always setting down stuff right as I spawn just to get rid of it so I don't forget about it. Watch, I get a satcom, let's see what I do with it. I'm making sure the enemy's clear. I see the dot in front of me. You see me switch my weapon to a long range to check the long sight line, and then I switch back to my short range weapon as I am coming up to a closer sight line. So again, see, I actually ran to a different spot that wasn't my spawn spot, and I put down my satcom. That's a smart thing to do, and you should probably start trying to do that yourself. Now guys, I'm scrolling through a ton of, you see me engaging my long sight lines. Next quick tip, when you see an enemy sitting in a spot at one part in the map, let's just say you notice him sitting there twice, or let's just say you notice the same guy sitting in the same spot for longer than 30 seconds, chances are that's his camping spot on that map. So anytime you go around that area, you should check to make sure that the guy isn't there. It's habit for people to go to that area. So you see me right there. I was engaged in a close quarter battle with my sniper. I didn't like the situation. I felt like I wasn't going to win the situation. So I backed out, switched to my secondary, and just ran away. Quick tip, killing dogs. Sniper rifles will take dogs out temporarily, but a throwing knife will kill the dog with one throw. A regular knife takes a couple knives to kill a dog, but a throwing knife will knock out a dog in one throw. So, you can see I did fairly well that video. I hope you guys, in the future videos when you're watching my gameplays, follow along with what I was saying and try to watch and learn from what I did. Hope you'd enjoy the video. As always, catch you next time. See ya. Monster!